In this video, we will be assembling the Spyker 200-pound Pro Tow Spreader, model SPY200T-1P. Tools required for assembly: 2 1/2-inch wrench and sockets, 2 7/16-inch wrench and sockets, needle nose pliers, and gloves. Step 1A, installing the axle. Note, the alignment on this step is crucial. It is important that the axle is facing in the correct direction and the frame and transmission are aligned as shown. Slide the axle through the square holes at the base of the frame, making sure the axle is facing in the correct direction. Step 1B, adding the bushings. Using the hardware in part bag number 1, add the bushings by sliding them over the axle ends and fitting the square ends of the bushings into the square openings at the base of the frame. Step 2, installing the drive wheel. On one end of the axle, add a 5/8-inch washer, an axle spacer, a second 5/8-inch washer, and the drive wheel, making sure the holes in the wheel hub extension align with the holes in the end of the axle. Secure the drive wheel in place by passing the 3/16-inch clevis pin through the holes in the wheel extension and the holes in the axle. Note, you may need to lightly tap the pin using a hammer or mallet to get the pin into place. And use a pair of needle nose pliers to open the cotter ring up slightly and slide it through the end of the clevis pin as shown. Step 3, installing the second wheel. Using the hardware in bag number 3. On the opposite end of the axle, add a washer, a spacer, another washer, and then the wheel. After adding the wheel, you may need to add 1 or 2 washers as needed to remove any play in the axle. Then secure the wheel in place using the roux lock ring. Note, you may need to use a pair of pliers to pull the roux lock ring into place. Step 4, adding the cross brace. Use the hardware in bag number 4 to attach the cross brace to the frame. Align the cross brace to the frame as shown. On each end, insert a 5/16-inch by 2-inch bolt and secure underneath the frame by adding a 5/16-inch lock nut to the end of each bolt. And secure the cross brace to the frame using 2 1/2-inch wrench and sockets. Step 5, attaching the tow bar. First, insert the plastic end cap into the end of the tow bar. You may need to use a hammer or mallet to tap the end cap into place. Make sure the tow bar is attached underneath of the cross brace, and the hitch height of your vehicle will be a factor in the orientation of the bend in the tow bar. For hitch heights 9 inches or below, align the tow bar with the bend oriented down. For hitch heights over 9 inches off the ground, align the tow bar with the bend oriented upward. Add the tow bar below the cross brace, aligning the 2 holes in both. Using the hardware in bag number 5, pass both bolts through the pieces and secure in place using the lock nuts. Fully secure the tow bar to the cross brace using 2 1/2-inch wrench and sockets. Step 6, adding the clevis plates. Use the hardware in bag number 6 to attach the clevis plates to the end of the tow bar. Sandwich the other end of the tow bar with the clevis plates, aligning the 2 holes in both. Then run 2 5/16-inch by 2-inch carriage bolts through all 3 parts and secure from below with 2 5/16-inch washers and 2 5/16-inch lock nuts. And use a 1/2-inch socket wrench to secure the clevis plates in place. Add the draw pin bar and secure the pin in place from below with a hairpin cotter. Step 7, adding the frame support brackets. Use the hardware in bag number 7 to attach the frame support brackets to the riser bar. First, insert the plastic end cap into the end of the tow bar. You may need to use a hammer or mallet to tap the end cap into place. Then, align the 2 holes in the frame support brackets up with the holes in the tow bar. Loosely bolt these parts together by passing 2 5/16-inch by 2-inch bolts through all 3 parts and adding a 5/16-inch lock nut on the end. Note, this hardware will be tightened on Step 8. Step 8, attaching the support brackets. Use the hardware in bag number 8 to attach the support brackets to the frame. Align the holes in the frame brackets up with the holes in the tow bar and pass a bolt through all 3 pieces, securing in place using a lock nut. Then, align the holes in the top of the support brackets up with the frame and pass a 5/16-inch by 2-inch bolt from the outside through the frame and through the support bracket, securing the support bracket in place using a 5/16 inch lock nut. Repeat this step on the other side, aligning the hole in the top of the support bracket up with the hole in the frame and passing a 5/16 inch by 2 inch bolt through both pieces and securing the support bracket in place by using a 5/16 inch lock nut. After making sure the tow bar is squared up to the frame, now tighten all of the bolts from step 5 through step 7, using 2 1/2-inch wrench and sockets to secure the frame brackets to the frame. Step 9. Adding the fan. Slide the felt washer and fan onto the fan shaft. Look for the hole in the middle of the fan shaft. This is where the fan will rest as the spinner clip slides through the base of the fan. Insert the long end of the spinner clip through the fan and through the axle and secure in place by tilting the clip down and supplying pressure to snap the clip in place around the fan shaft. Note, you may need to use a pair of pliers to snap the spinner clip around the fan shaft. Step 10. Installing the hopper. Use the hardware in bag number 10 to attach the hopper to the frame. Now, place the hopper assembly on top of the frame, making sure the fan shaft slides through the bushing in the hopper bottom plate. Secure the hopper to the frame by passing 4 1/4-inch by 2-inch bolts from below through the frame and hopper, adding a 1/4-inch washer and a 1/4-inch lock nut to the end of each of the 4 bolts inside of the hopper. Fully tighten in place using 2 7/16 inch wrench and sockets. Step 11. Adding the pivot plate. Align the 2 holes in the pivot plate to match the 2 holes in the riser bar as shown, and attach the pivot plate to the riser bar by passing 2 1/4-inch by 1 3/4-inch bolts through both pieces and add a 1/4-inch lock nut to the end of each of the 2 bolts. Secure the pivot plate to the riser bar using 2 7/16 inch wrench and sockets. Step 12. Adding the lever stop bracket. With the extension facing away from the hopper, align the bottom hole up with the lower hole in the end of the riser bar. For now, secure the lever stop bracket in place by passing a 1/4-inch by 1 3/4-inch bolt through the lower hole in the lever stop bracket and the lower of the 2 holes in the top of the riser bar, adding a 1/4-inch nut to the end of each bolt and loosely securing in place using 2 7/16 inch wrench and sockets. Step 13A. Assembling the gate lever. Using the hardware in bag number 13, assemble the gate lever handle by adding a 1/4-inch washer to the end of the 1/4-inch by 1 1/2-inch hex head bolt and sandwiching the 2 handle halves over the tapered end of the handle, and passing the bolt through a handle knob, through the hole in the tapered end of the handle extension, through the other handle knob, and adding a 1/4-inch nylon lock nut to the end of the bolt to secure the handle knobs in place. Fully tighten using 2 7/16 inch wrench and sockets. Note, you may need to use a socket extension to fully tighten this bolt. Step 13B. Adding the gate lever. Add the nylon flange bushing into the middle hole of the gate lever, making sure the extension in the bushing passes through the middle hole in the gate lever. Then pass a 1/4-inch by 2 1/4-inch bolt through all 3 pieces, adding a 1/4-inch lock nut to the end. Loosely secure the bolt in place using 2 7/16 inch wrench and sockets. Note, bolt these together, allowing the lever to still pivot but not move freely. It should be snug but not tight. Step 14. Adding the linkage arm. Add the linkage arm by using the hardware in bag number 14. Place another nylon flange bushing between the linkage arm and the gate lever, making sure the flange is inserted into the hole of the linkage arm. Then pass a 1/4-inch by 1-inch bolt through all 3 pieces and secure in place using a 1/4-inch lock nut. Bolt these pieces together snugly but not too tight using 2 7/16 inch socket and wrenches. They should allow for handle movement. Step 15. Adding the linkage pivot. Use the hardware in bag number 15 to add the linkage pivot. Align the corner hole of the linkage pivot up with the outer hole of the pivot plate and add a flange bushing in between the 2, making sure the extension passes through the linkage pivot. Attach the linkage pivot to the pivot plate by passing a 1/4-inch by 1-inch bolt through all 3 pieces and securing in place with a 1/4-inch lock nut. Then attach the linkage pivot to the linkage arm by adding a flange bushing in between the linkage pivot and linkage arm, making sure the extension goes into the hole at the base of the linkage arm. Then from the other side, pass a 1/4 inch by 1 inch bolt through the linkage pivot, the flange bushing, and the linkage pivot arm, adding a 1/4 inch lock nut to the end. Use two 7/16 inch wrench and sockets to fully secure both bolts. Step 16. Adding the linkage pin. Attach the linkage pin to the base of the linkage pivot that was just added on the last step. After passing the linkage pin through both pieces, add a 1/4 inch lock nut to secure the linkage pin in place. Bolt these two pieces together snugly but not tight, using a screwdriver to hold the pin in place and a 7/16 inch socket wrench to turn the nut. Step 17A. Adding the linkage rod. Insert the bent portion of the linkage rod through the hole in the gate link as shown. Then add a 1/4 inch lock nut to the threaded end and using a 7/16 inch wrench, thread the nut 3/4 of the way down the threaded side. And then insert the threaded portion of the linkage rod through the hole in the linkage pin. Secure the linkage rod to the linkage pin by adding a second 1/4 inch nut to the threaded end on the other side of the pin, and use a 7/16 inch wrench to fully secure in place. Step 17B. Adjusting the linkage rod. Adjust the position of these two lock nuts that were just added. Use the handle to open and close the gate. If the gate does not fully close, thread the nuts a little further down the linkage rod, so that the gate fully closes when the handle is engaged. Use the handle to open and close the gate to check and see if it is fully closing. Step 18. Adding the agitator pin. Slide the felt washer onto the fan shaft and insert the agitator pin into the hole at the top of the shaft. You may need to use a pair of pliers to fully clip the agitator pin to the agitator shaft. Step 19. The screen and cover. To add the screen, simply place it down inside of the hopper. The hole in the corner of the screen can be used to remove the screen. Then attach the no-spill hopper cover by hooking it around the rim of the hopper like a fitted bed sheet. Note, the hopper cover will have an extremely tight fit to ensure that no material is lost in case the hopper does tip over. Scan the QR code here to determine where to set the Spyker dial. For questions, call Spyker Customer Service at 1-800-972-6130.